Is everybody on the line and able to hear me? I'll get you to type in yes into the chat box if you can hear me, please, because we're about to start. Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Hidden Time Management Shortcuts for the Wealthiest Entrepreneurs. This webinar is for you to find out how to get to more profits, doing it easier, shaving hours off your work week, attracting business with far less effort. If this is where you're supposed to be, then let's get on with it. We're here for 45 minutes, people, so let me get on to the housekeeping. Let me get it out of the way so that we can spend the majority of our time getting you the content that you came here for. So, firstly, if you want to ask a question, please be sure to go ahead and type it into the chat box. Again, if you want to just type in okay, that'd be great. If you've got a question around a shortcut, please indicate which shortcut it is if you don't mind, like shortcut 1, so SC1. If you've got a private question, please put a PQ question mark in front of it so that I know to answer you after the event. Thanks very much. Yep, that'd be great. All right. I do have a special bonus for you. For everyone who stays to the end of the call, I'm going to be giving you a tool valued at $27. This is free to you for staying till the end. This is a report. Have you ever wished that you could refer to something that would help you automate your business? And many business owners know that there's lots of tools out there that can make certain tasks in their business a million times easier, but either they don't know where to find them or they don't know which ones to actually use because there's so many out there, so many to choose from. So after suggesting the same tools over and over and over again, I created a report called the 10 apps to systemize and delegate your business, and it'll be yours free at the end of the program, at the end of the webinar. This report is going to provide you with lots of information to bring the efficiency of your business up. And these tools have saved many other business countless hours and headaches in their business. And I personally use these. I've been using these for years. So stick around, people. We're going to get to that particular tool. The last bit of housekeeping that I want to say is there's going to be no selling on this webinar. So relax. Take the info in, take some notes, stop multitasking, try to focus on what we're going to go through. You get maximum value for the time you've invested so you don't miss anything, all right? And at the end, if some of you want to work with me, I'll explain how to go about doing that. But that's at the very end. If you want to do that, then you can hang around, and the others are welcome to hop off at that point and get on with giving these tips that I go through, these shortcuts, go for themselves. All right, so let me start by saying, I'll just make sure everything's working. I'm always nervous with webinars. I always think that they're not working. So let me just start by saying, becoming a time management master is actually very easy. And it is within your hands to do so. But most people have got themselves into a bit of a muddle because they've overcomplicated things. Most people I work are successful to a degree, you know, but they're juggling and they're struggling just to keep their head above water. And when they do have success, when they do have clients booking in, they start to feel a lot of overwhelm, you know, how are they going to cope with it, how are they going to cope with the life, you know, life as well, etc. So they feel a lot of overwhelm. They're always running and rushing, multitasking. They stop and they start. They've got lots and lots of things on the go. A few of them have difficulty getting to sleep because they can't slow their minds down. When they're trying to concentrate at work, they're distracted. You know, from the moment they get up to the moment they hit the pillow at the end of the night, they're on the run, and they often neglect their health and those they love, and usually they're the very reason we get into business in the first place, isn't it? So it doesn't have to be this way. But you see, many of us have never been shown how to work, and I say this over and over again. We're very, very good at what we do. We coach, we sell, we consult, whatever it is you do. But as you know, when you get into business, this is not your sole responsibility. There are many other things you need to do to keep business coming in, to manage your business, and of course to manage our busy lives. And the reason why the subtitle of this webinar is How One Smart Entrepreneur Shaved 30 Hours Off Their Work Week and Learned How to Attract Business with Far Less Effort is because this is exactly what has happened over and over again. It isn't fiction. And just like that entrepreneur that I worked with, you too, with a few simple techniques, can reduce the number of hours you work instantly. You can learn how to, pinpoint which money activities make you the most money. You can duplicate and get others to help you without micromanaging or checking their work for completeness. You can beat procrastination and other time stealers so that you fall back in love with what you do if you have fallen out of love. And I definitely, probably about 3 years ago, fell out of love with what I do, mostly because, well, I'll get on to that story in a moment. But when you do less and you actually spend more time on what's important, you get much more recognition, much more income, and better results, the results you deserve for your skills and the effort that you're putting in. And you can get more time for living life. The entrepreneur that, in particular, that I helped shave the 30 hours off their work week, they went on to write an album. They're a very talented musician, but they had no time to do things that they love, like music. She's also a very charitable person. So she actually wrote an album, put on a concert, and raised money for people in Africa, and built a little house over there for them, all in her spare time. Amazing what we can do. Huh? So before I get into the steps, give me 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes, to tell you who I am, because some of you don't know me all that well. And then I'll get into what you came here for. There, going on. Let me just make sure I've got everybody muted. Oh, bear with me. Sorry, I'm just muting everyone. All right. The new person. Here we go. Wonderful. Just the new people that hopped on aren't muted, so everybody should be muted now except for me. All right, let's keep going. So, like some of you here, I've got children. I've got 2 kids, and my elderly mum lives with us as well. She's my 3rd child. It's true what they say, we do regress back to childhood as we get older, and I have to say that she's my naughtiest child of the 3. She should know better. But I suppose she's a very young 83-year-old. I'm married. My husband's a musician, and he also works shift work, 3 to 4 afternoons a week. So predominantly the management of the children falls to me, and the homework and after-school activities and meals and clothes, and you know how it is, basically. I've been in business for 10 years now. I specialise only in time management and getting people results. I do outsource work. I have got contract staff, but the majority of the business is me, so I know exactly what you're going through. I have to say that I live and breathe what I teach. I work school hours unless I'm delivering training, unless I'm delivering a full-day workshop, and I work 4 days a week. I like to have Fridays off with my husband. So most Fridays, unless, again, I'm running a program like a Q&A call, which I do in the morning, but the rest of the day is usually with my husband, which is very nice. All of my work comes through referrals, people finding me, people referring me on, and I'm booked up for months. So I'm booked up. I've got half of the year booked up for next year, meaning half of every week is booked up already for next year, which is great. But I have to say, it wasn't always like this. You see, my problem was, and I don't know about you guys, but my problem was that work expanded into every hour of every day because I had so much to do, you know. I stopped exercising. I stopped having time for myself, stopped having a day off a week. I'd get up earlier and earlier, sleeping later, trying to cram more and more in, getting crankier and crankier with my family, rushing them to within an inch of their lives almost. Basically, my life became all work, no play. And I became this cranky general that was ordering everyone around just so I could, you know, get things done. If you can relate to that, just I'll get you to type in high five into the chat box there, you know. So, you see, I love what I do, just like you guys, I'm sure. I love helping others get the results that I know they can get. But I wasn't any better off. You know, my family was not better off. My income would go up and down. You know, it was either feast or famine. And I was investing lots of money, you know, willy-nilly in marketing programs and tools, all in an effort to sort of achieve this consistent and substantial income, this dream lifestyle that I got into business for. And it was all having the opposite effect. And embarrassingly, I had no time. It was very embarrassing given what I do. And one day I was working, and my son, he was a lot younger than this, my son was playing in the room beside me. And I heard him telling his teddy bear off. I heard him say to his bear, so this is quite a few years ago. It was early-ish in the piece, but I heard him say to his bear in a very little mean voice, he said, you know, I'll be with you in a moment. I'm just finishing something. And I thought, oh my God, that was like a knife in my heart. These words my little man was saying to his bear, you know. In an instant, I realized, what the hell was I doing? This is not what I got into business for. It's not what I was preaching to my clients either, not what I was telling them to do. You know, it didn't have to be this way. I knew it didn't have to be this way. I knew it was possible to master time. So I was absolutely determined at that point to find a blueprint, to have an exact road to take, what to cut out, what to do. But strangely enough, I couldn't find one, even though when you Google time management on the internet, you come up with like 1 billion results. I couldn't find something that was just in one place, that was really simple, that cut out all the fluff and actually told you exactly what you needed to do. You know? So I started studying other people, you know, people I admired, people who were with the same challenges as me, people who were successful without killing themselves, because there's a lot of successful people out there that are absolutely killing themselves. And I tried to work out what it was. What did they have in common? So I set my hours and I forced myself to work only school hours. I had to get rid of basically the things that weren't giving me the results so I could focus on the things that were in the time that had. And I started to do less. And it was surprising how much better my results started to get. I read lots of books, you know, on wealth and business, and I still do. I'm a big bookworm. But I still had to discover a lot through trial and error. It was so amazing. Anyway, after all through that, I distilled and I grouped what I learned into 7 steps. And these 7 steps are the shortcuts to success. And these are the ones I'm going to share with you today. So let me tell you, you are in very good hands. I know what I'm talking about. I've been in business, as I said now, for 10 years. I've worked with thousands and thousands of people from all walks of life, people with kids, without kids, employees, business owners, people with lots of businesses, and I've consistently been able to get them amazing results. Get ready to take some notes. Let me give you the blueprint of how you can do the same. We're about to get into it right now. So, let me have a quick drink of water. Remember, if you have any questions, type them into the chat box. Excuse me. And I will answer them all at the end. Here we go. Hidden shortcut number 1. The ultimate secret that all the rich and successful entrepreneurs use, and why Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, devoted an entire chapter to it. It's so simple. Decide on your goal and be clear on what you're aiming for. Have it up so you can see it, you can breathe it, you can assess everything that comes up against it. I want you to think for a moment. How many targets are you currently going for at the moment? How many goals per quarter, per month are you going for? Do they chop and change every week, every month? You know, having lots and lots of goals dilutes and fritters your effort. It ensures that you don't get anywhere quickly, and it also ensures that you spend the majority of your time on low-value activities because you're getting to the small things so you can get on to the big things, and of course it never happens. It increases your stress levels and it exhausts you faster. Can anyone relate to this? If you can relate to this, type yes into the chat box then. Help yourself achieve great results. Decide on what you're going to concentrate on and focus your efforts for a month or 2. There's lots of things that are important. But amongst all of those, what is wildly important? How many of you write your goals or create a business plan and then file that business plan in your computer somewhere? When detectives investigate crimes, they don't put their crime scenes into a spreadsheet and then bury that file in their computer. They get it up so they can see it. Why do they do this? They do it because seeing it every day gives it priority. It gives them focus. It puts it constantly on their mind. Every day that goes by increases the urgency to solve it, because every day that it doesn't get solved, there's a higher chance that it won't get solved. It's what they talk about as a team, and the whole team is aware of who is doing what and what's going on. They are all engaged in getting this goal, this crime solved. Are your goals up in view? Do you run your meetings in front of them? Do you assess everything that comes up against it, against what you're planning to do, against what your goal is? Are you constantly inspecting how you're tracking against your goal? Or do you say this is what you're going to do, but then just basically get stuck in the busy? When we we get what we inspect. So if you're not inspecting, you get whatever actually happens. Many organizations put their results, put results up so that different teams or people can actually see how others are doing, how they are doing in comparison to others. And this is actually to inspire and to motivate them. It turns work into a bit of a game. And you can do this for yourself, because your last action, your last result, is your last personal best. Why do you think these apps are so popular amongst runners? Because they can see their personal best and they try to beat it. So it's essential to know what your target is and to invest some time strategizing on how you're going to get there. That's essential, definitely. It's essential to do that so you don't jump onto the first solution that pops into your head, and so that you're not distracted by shiny objects. So, that things don't take you off course and waste your time and waste your money. It's very important so that you take the most impactful and the easiest route to your goals, the shortcut, the smart cut to your goal. And using the tool that you downloaded from me is a tool that will actually help you pinpoint which strategies are going to help you get there faster and easiest. And I use this tool over and over again with my clients to zero in on what pays them the most. And I just want to say at this point a shout out to Aileen. Aileen noticed that there was a little error in that spreadsheet, so I've fixed that now, and I'll get that out to you today with the bonus, okay? So I'll get that over to you immediately today. So anyway, what I want to say is it's a relief when you can actually let go of some stuff, especially stuff you don't enjoy doing. There are so many tasks because, and so many things you could be doing. All the marketing sucks you into thinking you have to do this and you have to do that. You have to do all of it. But what the wealthiest do, what the most successful entrepreneurs do, is they decide on their goal. They are very, very clear on what they're trying to achieve. And they're determined to get there. It's constantly on their mind. They think about it. They dream about it. They have no doubt that they actually are going to get there, that they're going to achieve it. It's just a matter of time. So put your goal up. Have it somewhere right in front of you so you can look at it constantly, assess everything that comes up against it. Will it move you towards the goal? Will it move you away from the goal? And make sure you're measuring where you are against it. So that's secret number one. That's shortcut number one. Get your goal up, have it up so that you can see it, and decide on what is wildly important, what's most important. Okay, if you've got any questions, make sure you type them up, and remember to put in secret shortcut and the number of the shortcut that you've got the question for, okay? All right, number two, hidden shortcut number two, managing distractions. Get an hour or more of productive work done every day by managing distractions. The first thing that the most wealthiest entrepreneurs do is they manage their environment so they can get things done. So they aren't constantly distracted visually and mentally by everything that goes on. They set up workflow systems, communication systems, filing systems. They streamline. Why? So they can focus on what pays them the most instead of wasting time looking for information or doing things manually, doing things the long way. Now, recently, I have to say that I've been working with a lot of businesses and with their helping them fix their filing systems. It's the most fundamental thing. But what I find is that most filing systems aren't intuitive. They aren't set up so that you can find things easily, logically. They basically evolve. So, and most systems are set up to manage content but not workflow. When I help companies review their filing systems, what I aim for is a system, as I said, that's logical and intuitive, so that basically somebody from off the street could come in and help you find anything. Your 83-year-old mum could find something for you if you had to. Most filing systems, as I said, they evolve. They get bigger and bigger. Most people save a lot of corporate information in their inbox or in their own personal filing systems. And why? Because they actually don't know how to find information fast in the filing system that exists. It's never been explained to them, and it hasn't been set up for easy access. Also, they don't know how to use their search tools, so they search for things using their eye mostly. They don't make use of the technology at their fingertips and the different little tricks that you can use to actually search for information. Most people reinvent the wheel in their own personal systems. And as I said, filing is the most fundamental aspect of the business. Information and workflow management in most businesses hasn't been made transparent and hasn't been made simple. And in this day and age, where information is coming at us at such speed and volume, it's really essential to get a grip on it quickly. Otherwise, you can spend a lot of time looking for information that you already have. Let me just see if I've got this statistic. Look at this poor person. This is a typical office environment at home. Boxes and stuff everywhere. Most people work in an environment where they've got everything in view so that they don't forget what they need to do. They flag emails in their inbox so they remember to do them. They print emails out. They place them everywhere so they see what they need to do. They use Post-it notes. They mark things that they've read unread. They file things away to do, and of course they forget to do them. You know, working in an environment like this is a recipe for distraction, and distraction causes us to stop and start. It confuses what our priorities are because everything's in view and everything is important. You know, what do you do first? How much frustration do you feel when you can't find something easily? Now, there's one business I'm working with at the moment. Oh my God, their filing system's diabolical. And what are we doing? We're reinventing the wheel because we can't find anything. We can't find the most basic procedures. It's supposed to be in one place, but it's everywhere. So we're working on fixing that. Okay, so just let me add, sorry, they're still on my mind. This company turns millions over a year. And so much time is being wasted recreating their paper trail. You know, days, not hours. Setting up your workflow and information management will alone return you a minimum of an hour a day. What's your hour worth? You know? If you had an extra 20 hours a month, what would you be saving? What results could you translate that into? And it really is so very easy. Now, I worked with a guy, he was new to sales, and he wasn't making his monthly quota, and he was really under the microscope with his manager. And what we did was we implemented this clear, streamlined workflow system for him so that he knew who to follow up, and he did so in a bit of a systematic way. It's not rocket science, you know, but it's hard to get on to quoting when you're using, you know, when you're turning emails into paper and paper into email. It was just everywhere. So anyway, we set up this system that enabled him to quickly see what the low-hanging fruit is. And this one simple action enabled him to squash his monthly target. Now, he boasts that there's not a target that he can't hit. Look how much time is spent in administration and travel, you know, not getting to the actual business of selling or prospecting and networking. You know, setting up for workflow management, it encourages you to focus. It helps you with momentum. It's what top entrepreneurs do. They set up so that they can use their time at work to work. It's central, it's core to getting results. It enables you to start to lift yourself out of the business and have others backfill for each other and to present a seamless and efficient service to clients. You know, one company I work with is a travel company, and if before we worked together, if somebody was off and a client came in, nobody could find anything about the client because everybody was filing to their own personal system. Everybody had reinvented the wheel. Have one central system, one that works. You'd be amazed how you don't need to rely on paper. This is a huge aspect in the lives of the most successful because the more you work efficiently, the more time you have to play and to rest. And the more energy you have, the more fulfillment you have, the more ideas and inspiration you get because you're not distracted by all the clutter. You get clarity. So, shortcut number 2, make sure you are set up for success. You are set up for workflow. Map out your workflow so that you know what you actually need to set out. All right, number 3. Number 3 of shortcut, the most wealthiest do is to make decisions quickly. They develop their rapid decision-making muscle, which RPM, RDM, that's supposed to be there. This is what, in fact, multitasking is all about. You know, we think multitasking is about doing 10 different things at the one time, but it's actually about doing the same task, uh, a few of them in one hit, so that when you're doing the same task over and over again, you get faster and more accurate. That's what multitasking actually is. And your inbox, you know, is perfect for this. Your emails are not meant to be done as they come in. This is a big distraction. Turn off your alerts if that's what you're doing. You know, and it might come as a surprise to you that you're not supposed to be answering them as they come in. They're meant to be collected in one spot in your inbox, and then you're meant to cut through them rapid fire. Your job is to read, decide, and move, just like a nurse in triage. What's going to get through and done right now? What's going to get done later? What's not going to get through at all? And I call this the sifting process. When you sift through what comes your way and work out what needs to get done by you, what's of value and what's not, basically. You know, when you don't have a sifting process, what actually happens is you multi-handle. You stop and you start. And there's a statistic that says that we handle information 6 to 12 times before we manage it. And when you're getting like 80 plus emails a day, this is stealing a lot of your time. You know, I regularly show people how to go from 30,000 emails in an inbox to less than 10 in, I won't say 60 seconds or less, but, you know, maybe 5 minutes or less. It isn't really that hard. And the relief they feel because all that weight is off their mind. They find stuff easier. They can see instantly what is new and what do they need to get on with. They can manage then from there what has come in and they can maintain it easily. It's a skill that pays them for life. One client I worked with, I wonder if I've got that. Oh, yes, here it is. One client I worked with found 30 leads in her inbox that she hadn't contacted or followed up. Just following up on those 30 leads tripled her income in a month. You know, just that one action. And now she's managed to consistently do this, even though it's been years since we've worked together. And she has more time for getting quotes out, following up with prospects and clients and actually getting the jobs done. Learn how your tools can do the work for you. Be decisive. Just don't move things around in different buckets. What you've got to do is to read, decide, and move it on to its next logical step. Develop a rapid decision-making system, you know, just like a nurse. So you can cut loose the things that are of no value and do that quickly and get on to what's most important faster. Again, for those of you who have joined us so far, we're up to shortcut number 4. We are powering through this, which is fantastic. If you have got any questions, make sure you enter them into the chat box. I'll get to the questions at the very end. All right, shortcut number 4. This little hidden shortcut. Most wealthiest entrepreneurs, they plot, they design, they scheme, they strategize, they formulate. In other words, they plan. But when I say the words plan, it takes the energy out of so many people. They think it's boring. They don't really know, oh my God, it's the secret. It's the key to everything. Planning on a daily basis is what you're going to get done that day or the next day. When you're planning like that, basically you're just staying reactive. It's not an effective state. All you're doing is doing what has come up rather than what's most important. I hope that has sunk in there. When you plan on a daily basis, when you write a to-do list every single day, and to-do lists are evil, by the way, because how do you know you've got enough time to do that to-do list? To-do lists usually consist of, you know, months and months of work, not a reasonable day's work. So when you're planning like that, all you're doing is basically getting to what has come up rather than what's most important. Plan annually, plan quarterly, plan a week ahead at a time. Planning You know, stopping to plan weeds out what's of no value to you now and in the future. It weeds out the stuff that you're procrastinating on. And it gives you an opportunity with good conscience to let go of stuff or to delegate it out sooner, because you can see when you quantify it how little time you actually have to waste, you know, to procrastinate. Successful entrepreneurs know what they're going to do before they start their day and their week. They work with urgency to get the job done in the time that they've allowed in their schedule. So they work fast. They focus on what they're working on, and they keep distractions at bay by working fast. You know, when you're working with a bit of urgency, it helps you get engrossed in what you're doing. It helps you manage low priority interruptions. Think about when you're going on, you know, on holidays, when you're going even for a long weekend, how you make sure you get your most important done, and you put a stop to all those low priority interruptions. The wealthiest entrepreneurs use their calendar to plan, and it gives them insights into how they work. So they know how they work, and they adapt what they learn to their planning. It gives them an idea of when they're at their best, you know, so they take advantage of their energy levels. When it's most quiet in the office, when they're most interrupted. And by the way, save your emails for when you're most interrupted, rather than when you've got quite like the first thing when you get in. Do it because they're supposed to be quick things. It's supposed to be done in and around everything else. So save them for when you're most interrupted, rather than for when you're at your best. Planning enables you to batch. It enables you to work in modes. And again, this is something the most wealthiest do. They do all their marketing on one day because they're in that mode, that creative mode. They do all their admin in that day. That's the day that they do it, and they just power through it. So they do the same type of work in the same way, which, again, is multitasking. They chip away at projects, and they spend at least 50% of their day on their most important work. And they do this work first rather than putting it off later, and getting, you know, the small stuff done first. Having a plan helps train them to do this. Okay? They use tools to help them track and manage what they have on their plate, and they keep things simple, very simple. So most of us have overcomplicated everything by using lots and lots of tools, and they're just distracting us. Feed everything you need to do into one system. Because, you see, when you only have a certain number of hours to work, not everything can get done today. And you know what? Some things don't need to be done at all. But when we don't feed everything into one system, this is what we attempt to do. We attempt to get everything done. And what we end up doing is doing what shows up or what fits into the time we have available, rather than doing what's best, progressing it and you know, chipping away at it and moving it forward. Using one system is really the biggest, most massive secret that they all have in common. Use one system and use it well. And, you know, I've already mentioned some of the ways that people remind themselves of what they need to do, but I'll get you to type in. Let me ask you, how many systems do you use? What do you use to remember what you need to do? And you show me, actually, you say yes, or if I actually hit one of the ones that you use. Actually, I'll get you to do this. I'll get you to count how many of these you use. Do you use a whiteboard to track and manage what you need to do? Do you use a calendar? Do you use a taskbar? Do you flag emails? Do you use a post-it notes? To-do lists? Do you mark emails that are read, unread? Do you use a spreadsheet? Do you write on your hand? Do you put things into your phone? Do you create folders to hold work that you need to do? How many ways do you flag? Did I say flags? Yes, I did. Use one system. The average person uses around seven different systems, and we wonder why we don't know what to do first, why we have trouble prioritizing. Use one system and learn how to use it well. Using one system forces you to actually prioritize. It forces you to work on your most important or first. Using many systems is a common planning mistake, and not knowing how to use that system effectively is another planning mistake. Being effective is about the what. What are you doing? Efficiency is the how you do it. So this change to how you work will help deliver anything that is being asked of you within budget, without running yourself ragged, in time or on time. It'll help you actually develop patient timelines. It'll help you estimate when you can get things done much more realistically. It'll enable you to track and manage everything that you need to do without using your brain. It resolves that issue of conflicting priorities, because you have to decide what is going to get done, what's going to get done first. I never forget training a team of IT people within Apache. There were 10 people, and between them, by showing them how to set up and then how to do rapid decision making and then using the tools to plan, they saved 15 hours a week as a group. I mean, you can see the impact this makes when it's timed out by the number of people in your team. What also happened was that their clients all of a sudden were very happy with their service. They stopped getting complaints. The complaints just reduced. The number of times people were ringing and re-ringing and re-ringing to actually get something done was reduced. And the actual clients reported how much nicer the team were to deal with and how prompter they were with responses and delivery. And if you ask the manager, this is the funniest thing, she'd tell you that they didn't actually get things faster. They didn't get anything done faster. The jobs took the same amount of time to get done. But what was happening was they were working much more efficiently, which gave them more time to do the important work and to communicate with the clients, to tell them what they were up to and get on the front foot rather than always just trying to respond to emails, which they weren't responding to anyway. Plus, by using the one system to actually manage and track all they needed to do, they were accurately, and here's the key, they were accurately able to gauge when they were actually going to do things, rather than over-promise and under-deliver. By accurately gauging when they could do things, they delivered on time and the clients were happy. I don't know how many times I write a quote for somebody or a proposal, and my natural instinct is to say, I'll get it to you tomorrow. But if I stop myself, in fact, I do now, I always manage to either catch myself, or if I haven't, I then ask the question, you know what, when do you actually need this by? And I reckon about 8 out of 10 people tell me 5 times longer than what I would have actually I've tried to do. So, they'll usually say, oh, I'm away for the next few days, or I'm in Sydney for the whole week. Get it to me the following week. But I would have killed myself to get the proposal to them if I hadn't have asked that one question. There are so many tools that can help you do what you are doing, possibly the long way. And these tools can shave hours off your administration. But it's most important that you learn how to do them, how to use the tools. It can't be ignored. This one element, the element of planning, is the one that is most damaging to success. It can help with everything. It can cure everything. Procrastination, overwhelm, client service problems. It cures everything. And when I coach people, and whenever I work with organisations, I always hang around and coach them for, up to about 3 months later. Weekly, we look at their plans, and it tells me so much about a person. Their habits, their likes, their dislikes, their tendencies, and many of their profit issues can be solved through what their planning reveals. It's not only, it's a combination of planning and then what they actually do. And recently, I increased the productivity of an organisation by 57% by just interpreting their calendars for them and making small changes to the way they worked. You know, obviously the change was that they were planning more, they were using their calendar to plan, but after they started doing that, then those small changes, you know. I mean, I sound like a psychic reading calendars instead of cards, but it can make such a big difference. Another organisation that I've recently just finished working with improved their productivity by 67%. 67%. I mean, you'd flip the results of your business on its head if you start using your calendar and interpreting the data it's giving you. But you have to use it. It can't just be used for appointments with other people, or you can't just put in, you know, a blanket ideal day and never stick to anything that you've got in there. You have to use it. You have to use it effectively. You know, the company that got the, it was 54%, sorry, it wasn't 57%. The first company that got 54% increase got all their systems in place, which they were so desperately needed because they were growing so quickly. A task that they were continually putting off because they were so busy doing what's showing up. They were so busy reacting and running from one thing to the next, which happens when your systems haven't kept up with the amount of business that you're getting. But with just some small adjustments to how they worked, they were able to stick to their business improvement meetings and appointments. And now they can't see how they could work without those appointments. You know, now they know how much profit they're actually making, what things are costing them. You know, it's so important when you've got a business that's turning over millions to know these things, because otherwise all you do is keep taking on more customized jobs and you don't know whether you're actually making a profit or not. The management team now meets regularly to get systems in place, to get their gaps addressed. It's a totally different place. It's one that's really ready to grow and evolve. They're going to boom next year. I think they expect to triple their profits next year. So now they've got some robust systems to actually help them. And they're expanding their premises as I speak. With the second business, the one that got 67%, this one, the owner of that business, we achieved the increase of productivity of his team by me coaching him and by adjusting his weekly plan so that he could then help and guide his team more. You see, his team was struggling. They needed guidance and coaching. He was assuming that they knew what they were supposed to be doing, but they were only really taking superficial actions. Remember, you get what you inspect. So if you're not inspecting, you're getting whatever. I'm not saying that they weren't trying to do a good job. They were, but they were taking action without understanding the purpose, without actually, they were doing what fit into the time available. They couldn't even interpret the marketing plan, you know, and break it down or reverse engineer it to actually do what needed to be done. And with a little bit of coaching, their results got moving much faster. Before, he had no time in his calendar to actually coach them. No time in his week, in fact. But now that he's coaching them, they're closing their deals faster. They're getting paid sooner. They're actually seeing lots of results faster, just with really small changes. Your plans, people, they are key to making life easier, to skyrocketing results. They help you inspect. They help you do less. They help you do more of what counts. You've got to start planning, and if you don't plan, get a mentor to help you plan effectively. Get a mentor to help you interpret and read your plans, because sometimes it's really hard to see the forest through the trees, you know. Somebody else can always, especially if there's somebody who's really good at time management, they can see instantly what's going on and point things out to you that you can't see. So get some help if you're not planning, or if you're not planning well. Get some help so that you can actually do things a lot easier. All right, hidden shortcut number 5. The most wealthiest They turn tasks that are essential to their business, tasks like planning, like focusing, they turn their key tasks into systems so that they build a habit, and then they do those things automatically. When they catch themselves not working to plan, they use simple techniques to overcome procrastination so that they don't stall or, fuss over small details, that perfectionism. They use simple systems to build habits so that they do what they need to do without procrastinating, without procrastination ever coming into play. Do you know what you're procrastinating on? The types of things. This is the stuff that I'm saying your planning reveals to you. I'm going to say it again. You get what you inspect, and if you aren't inspecting, how can you get better at what you do? How can you expect to get what you want? Do you have techniques at hand that you call on to re-energize yourself and to keep yourself moving forward? There's a study from Duke University, and it found that 45% of our choices are determined by habit rather than conscious decision making. So what that actually is saying is that we're doing a lot of things on automatic. Like when we don't plan to do our work, when we do a daily do list, that's a habit. It's a habit that we've got ourselves into. We don't do it consciously, we just do it automatically. And as I said, the to-do list is a tool that keeps you focused on reacting, on what shows up. When you don't consciously decide, when you don't have a plan, you don't have to consciously decide not to do your own work. You just can continue to fritter your time and energy on whatever shows up rather than consciously making the decision to move yourself towards your goal. We are human. We love taking the path of least resistance. So when we do things that are easy to do, we do them without thinking because we feel like we're being productive. We don't avoid doing them because they're easy to do. And we continue doing them even when really there is no real reward other than striking it off the list. The most simple entrepreneurs use simple techniques to get them and keep them on task. Techniques that are so easy, they don't have to force themselves to do things. And this is why I have success with my business. As I said, most of my business comes through referrals. Why? Because people, after years with working with me, are still doing what I taught them to do. When they fall off the wagon, they know exactly what they need to do to get back on track. They know what to do to take control and how to do more work that pays them. And some of them do need help. They do need somebody to keep them accountable. Sometimes it's me. Sometimes it's somebody else. But they know that doing that gets them the rewards that they need. I wish I had $1 for every person that tells me that they're still doing this technique or that technique years later. Like the sales manager who can hit any target that's given to him, like the entrepreneur who's won 2 industry awards in a row, working less hours and has now clients flocking to them because they're recognised as the industry's best. All we did was develop easy systems for them to work. Easy systems that basically they didn't resist, so that they then followed the systems until they were working that way automatically. That the entrepreneur that won the 2 industry awards, if you ask her, she'll say to you she's not good at time management, but she instantly weeds out things that actually are of no value to her. And early in the piece when we were working together, we worked out scripts and techniques to actually weed out tire kickers so that she could still build a relationship with them, but not through one-to-one meetings that took hours. Often the most simple of approaches are overlooked because we tend to look for the magic pill. We tend to look at gimmicks rather than simple approaches that are under our very noses. And the simplest ways to break procrastination to get from A to B is to build habits and having systems help you actually build those habits until you're doing them automatically. Oh, let me just have a quick drink here. How are we going for time? Oh my God, we're way over time. Let me get on to these last ones. Hidden shortcut number 6, most wealthiest. Thank you for hanging around, by the way. Most wealthiest automate, template, streamline, and systemize. They're continually improving their systems. They don't employ 20 people to do this, the things a long way. They have systems, just like Ray Kroc, the man that built McDonald's, most successful fast food operation in the world. He implemented systems. And even today, McDonald's won't do anything without testing and reviewing the systems. Millions of people working for them, and they have systems. Imagine if you're a one-man band, how much systems are important to you. You can't leverage and soar unless you're reviewing and improving what you're doing. If you don't review and have systems, basically everyone's inventing their own systems and working in isolation, taking longer to get things done. So look for shortcuts, invest some time in getting these set up and using them, review your results, template processes that work best so that you can delegate and outsource. Okay, this investment will pay you tenfold. Shortcut number 7. The wealthiest have mentors, full stop. It's one specific to the need that they have that they want to get addressed so that they can shortcut their way there. Think of The Voice. Think of The Biggest Loser. I could go on and on and on. These sort of programs show us how somebody who's very skilled at what they do can get you there. I recently listened to Anthony Robbins giving an interview, and he was talking about how he got a black belt in a year. A black belt. It takes years to get a black belt. And all he did was employ all of the 7 shortcuts that I've just said. He was clear on his goal. He wanted to be a black belt in 1 year. He cleared all the distractions from his schedule and was totally immersed in getting this done for a year. There was a plan, and that evolved over the year. He had a system for what he needed to do to master each step. All the Carters are systems to help you achieve your black belt, to help you deal with combat. That's why you practice them over and over again, so that when you actually are under stress, you do them automatically. He streamlined and cut out anything unnecessary so that he can move from one level to the next, and he learned from a master. Every person who succeeded has a coach and a mentor, and this is how they shortcut to the right skills for the job. They're often very specialized. They're not a generalist because they can see things in an instant to help you improve. I will tell you this before I close with the call. There's a book called Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, and he describes our ability to gauge what's really important in an instant, instinctively, and that this is developed through years of experience and training. And it's when you look at something and it's not right, but you can only get that through years of developing that instinct and that through experience. So when I work with people over time, I share with them those differences that can make all the difference. Like a company I'm working with at the moment, they cut 6 hours off a process that they do monthly. Now they're invoicing faster, and their staff are able to invest their time in other activities. Like the manufacturing company whose reactivity reduced by 45%. The team becomes much more cohesive just with really small changes that can be seen. It's that fine tuning. All successful people have mentors, people who can shortcut them to results. So the last tip is to get a mentor, one that's specific to the skill you're trying to acquire, so you can get the feedback and techniques for you. Okay, people, the time is way up. I'm sorry that we didn't get into the nitty-gritties and the details of every single step. the how-tos I go through in my signature program, but I've distilled these for you so that you've got a blueprint of the key actions that top entrepreneurs take. The number one key ingredients that can take you from 0 to 100 kilometers is to have a great mentor, that one that helps you, stay on track, and one that can help you soar. Working on your own is fine. It doesn't work for everyone, but when you do it with a coach or mentor, things really change for you. Like reducing your hours from, 80 to 50 and having more time for the hobbies you love and the charities you feel strongly about, for your family. Like working less hours and winning industry awards and having people flock to you because you're in the paper or you're recognized for being the best. Like increasing the productivity of your team and enabling your business to grow, yet maintaining control of it, not having it overwhelm you because you've got extra clients. Like being able to have days off with your kids or your husband or your partner or for yourself, not rushing from one thing to the next, We are really at the end of our webinar, and as I promised you, there is no selling here. I'm delivering as I promised. If you want to take the ball and run with it, no problem at all. But for those of you who have tried to do this on your own and you recognize you need someone to help you, you've got things you want to achieve and you're sick of not getting to it, you're sick of putting it off, I am about to open a new intake for my signature program, which is called Time Mastery, the no-fluff, uncomplicated practical course on how to master your time, make more money. If you'd like to hear more about it, stick around for the next 15 minutes. I won't take any longer than that. And I'll go through any questions that have come up. I can see there's a few questions here. But that's all, basically. For those of you who are ready to go, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for giving me the gift of your time. I hope you've taken heaps of notes. And I wish you all the best. So let's keep going. All right, firstly, remember my little boy telling his teddy off, telling him to wait, and my work expanding into everything, that was all available and squeezing out all the fun and balance and family time out of my life. And family is very important to me, I have to tell you. I'm a big family person. Remember me telling you about my little boy. Are you finding yourself in the same position? Are you exhausted, working really hard but not getting the great results that you should do for the time and energy you're putting in? And are you sick of it? Are you sick of feeling that overwhelmed, feeling cranky for those you love, wishing you had more time? You're sick of wishing you had more time for you and your partner because you hardly see each other. Are you worried about not sleeping, feeling like you're going to have a heart attack? Are you maybe putting on weight? You're wishing you could maybe quit the job and just get another job, wishing all the problems would go away, but you just don't know how. If you can relate to this, type in a yes in the chat box there for me. Here's the skinny, this program is perfect for you if you own your own business, if you've got several businesses, even if you work for somebody else. If you're wearing lots of hats, this program is perfect for you. It's a powerful set of tools that will help you focus and get things done in your busy day-to-day life. I use everything I teach. I have done so for years. My students use them day in, day out. They work and they are really easy to apply. In fact, one of the things that is said over and over again when I train this, deliver this program, is that, why have I never been taught this at school? What I've done is taken what I teach to large corporates, businesses, and I've put it into some pre-recorded modules. There's 6 modules, so I've broken it up into 6 modules, one released to you every week, and each module has a series of lessons, but no lesson is under 15 minutes. All of them can be done in less than 7 days, so you can do one a day, but there's usually less than one a day to do. The first module sets you up for the rest of the course as a benchmark because we want to inspect what we're getting. We want to see and measure the transformation that we're making, how far we come, because success builds on success. It helps you turn these new skills into habits that pay you every single day. The second module is foundational. It's the invisible systems that help you free up time, that help you manage the workflow so that you can get more time to focus on big projects, so you can think with clarity. The third module is a sifting process. It's a powerful set of decisions that help you create lifelong productivity. It's about how to find your highest leverage activities, the one that bring you the most rewards, and to get to them no matter how busy you are, no matter how much clutter gets thrown at you. This module helps you stop outside influences trying to steal your time through interruptions, helps you delegate effectively. Number 4 is crucial, because after you've learned the foundations, and modules 1 to 3 are the foundations, it's now about taking that newfound time and energy and putting it into a plan that you actually execute, one that takes less effort, less time. And I'm going to walk you through how to do that and how to juggle, your ever-changing priorities. Module 5 is about breaking through those procrastination. I'm going to teach you the best way, the ways that top entrepreneurs use, those easy ways to help you build new habits. And module 6 is about reviewing. It's about continually getting better and keeping that momentum going so that you not only change while you're doing the program, but you change and make these changes for life so that you never have to do a time management course again in your life. You don't have to read a time management book again in your life. You can do all of this. You can feel in control of what you have to do. You can be a CEO rather than the lowest paid employee of your business. You can see visible results. You can see profits. You can reduce the hours that you work to 40 hours or less. You can have a day off if you want. I can show you how to do that. You can increase the results you get in the time that you're working, regardless of how less you work. I'm going to teach you how to use your time and so to see those projects finish, how to work with your team so that they see progress and the rewards that they're due and are motivated and inspired. You can be home with your kids and not think about work, but just enjoy being with them. You can have time to volunteer or work in your community or build relationships that contribute to feeling that you're part of something. You can absolutely get a good night's sleep and be eager the next day knowing what you're going to get done. None of this is impossible. Let me catch up to what I'm saying. It's all doable. It's in your hands. It really, really is. The 6 modules, what actually brings them to life are the weekly Q&As. So every week, what I do is I get on the phone and I answer your questions. What happens is that those questions customize the program to you. It actually helps you, it's like working one-to-one on me. So with me, not on me, with me. It's very interactive. There's worksheets, templates. There's going to be recordings of those calls so that you can listen to them in your own time if you don't make the actual live one-to-one. You're going to have access to me via email, via phone. This is how it works. So at this point, you might be thinking you don't have time to get all of this. Can it really change? Can it really change for you? You might be thinking that your business is different, that maybe you're different. Maybe that you won't make the changes. And I've designed the program to ensure all your concerns are addressed. Because I know that the longer you stay with me, the more chances you have of making the changes and for making it a habit. I've also built this program so that one module builds on the next, so that they're step by step, and you don't have too much to implement all at once. You do 1 week, you implement as you go, there's nothing further to do, that bit's done. I've got lots of hand-holding because history's shown me that the more bite-size I make it, the easier I make it for you, the easier it is for you to sustain the changes, and to also, if I keep the group small, the more coaching and attention that you actually get. Because I know it's the small tweaks that make all the difference. The program starts the 24th of November. It starts next week. It goes 6 weeks, then it's done. That's it. People who finish the program increase their productivity by about 45%, plus they reclaim up to 2 hours back a day. I mean, does that sound good to you? What could you translate that extra time into? If you had increased your productivity by 45%, what would that translate into? A day off a week? Maybe seeing more customers? Maybe learning how to get more customers? Putting projects to bed? Writing a book? What would it really mean to you? Implementing new marketing? Let me put it into dollars for you. Let's say you saw an extra prospect a week and your conversion rate is, for every 5 people you see, 1 actually goes ahead. And for every new client, it's worth an extra $1,000 to you. That would mean an extra $52,000 a year. What would you do with an extra $52,000 a year? Would that be a problem for you? Especially if you were doing this in less time than you've ever worked before. What if you had a team of people that you could teach to do the same thing? What would that translate for you? More money? Some people do it because they want more money. Some people will do it because they want an easier life, the lifestyle that they, envisioned for themselves when they actually went into business. I don't know what it is for you, but I know that's why people are so eager to invest in my program, because they know investing a small amount of money will get them that income that's not peaking and troughing. They know that the income is going to continue to grow, and they've got a system, a back-end system that will enable them to manage that. They become the boss, the CEO, as I said, rather than the lowest paid person in the organization. They get to reconnect back with their family, sleep better, exercise, feel in control of what's going on. Does this sound something of interest to you? Everything I do has a money-back guarantee. Test it out. Test the program out for 21 days. If you're not happy with how it's going, if you haven't got time back, if your life isn't easier, if you're not in control or on your way to being in control, if you're not feeling less overwhelmed and more confident, if you can't see a visible difference, if you can't see how it's going to help you forever and affect every single part of your business, and I bet you also your life, then you can have your money back. Contact me, contact my customer service, and we'll refund you 100% of what you pay. There's absolutely no risk. All right? If there's no changes within 3 weeks, ask for a refund and you'll get one. I don't want there to be a risk for you. I don't have a fancy pitch, but I do like to reward people who are here on these calls with me, action takers, ones who want to succeed. Program like this, normally I charge $3,000 plus for 6 weeks. My God, I charge a lot of money for those programs. But because it's a group coaching format and it's online, because it's pre-recorded, it allows me to reduce the investment to around $1,000. But because it's still a new program, and I'm going to be asking you for feedback, I'm going to be asking you to give me a referral, or not a referral, a testimonial at the end. I'm going to chop it. I'm chopping the price of this in half, literally in half. And because I don't want there to be anything holding you back, if you need a payment plan, I'm splitting it into 3 payments of $200. So that's it. You can pay 1 payment of $550 or 3 payments of $200. I don't want there to be anything holding you back. I'm not going to take a lot of people for the program. Like I said, there's a lot of hand-holding, a lot of interaction, and I want to look after every single person well. One last thing, my personal gift for every person who signs up, for the first 20 people who sign up, as soon as you're finished, I'm going to give you $100 back. So as an incentive to finish, the program itself is going to be $449. The quality of the program, I've got track record. I've got hundreds, thousands of people who have done this program. And with all this interaction and hand-holding, they're the ones, people that get the coaching with me are the ones that get the 67% increase, 47%, 52%, they're the ones that actually get the best results. If you're thinking of doing this program, jump in, don't delay. Get paid to do this course. I've sent you an email with the registration, link to the registration page. If you're interested in doing the course, we start next week and it's over in 6 weeks' time. You'll have the systems to literally turn time into money. There you have it. That's it. I'm done. I do have some questions here. If you're wanting to hang around, I'll go through these questions. If you've got any questions yourself, you can email me directly or you can type them in. So I'm going to hang around and answer these questions. You're welcome to, of course, hang around with me. So first question is, do you take debit cards or personal checks? If PayPal takes debit cards, I'm not sure if it does or not, then go ahead and use it. I will take personal checks. And these can be posted to me. And if you'd like to send a personal check, please contact me on my email at angie@timeequalsmoney.net.au. Next question, will you be breaking for Christmas? Yes, I will be. And we'll be resuming, so we start the 24th of November, we finish the 17th of January, and we'll be breaking for Christmas the 20th is the last module. So I'll be sending out the last module on the 14th of that week and then resuming again. So you have 1 week, we'll do the call on the Friday and then 2 weeks off, resuming back the 5th of January. All right, what are the main benefits and outcomes? All right, good question. The main benefits are clarity. You will honestly become a master of time. And like I said, if you think you haven't got value in the 3 weeks, if there haven't been aha moments, if you can't see a visible difference, then ask for your money back. I will pay you back instantly. Effort. You are going to have more bang for your buck because you're going to be working on more impactful things, things that actually make a difference to your business, to your profits. You're going to free yourself of rubbish. You're going to get the rewards you deserve. Overwhelm. That's going to stop. You're going to take charge. You're going to know what you need to do, and you're going to gain skills that pay you for life. Because once you learn how to do this, you're never going to want to go back. And if you do, you're not going to know what you need to do to get back on track. You're going to solve issues that you've probably had for ages. And you're going to have more time to get on to enjoy life. You know, I transform companies, the lives of the people within companies with what I teach. All of it works, and you know what? It is not hard. I can't stress enough how it's not hard. The reason why people love me, they refer me, is because I get straight to the point and I help instantly. That's why it's called instant time management, time mastery. Yes, somebody's actually called, why is it called instant but it's over 6 weeks? Good question. Each module will tell you what to put in place so that you see differences to your results. And you do that instantly. So you get the module, you get the lessons, and you can implement through the week. If I give you all the information at once, I know that you've got less than 50% chance of actually taking action or taking complete action. And you've also got 50% chance of not making those changes, sustaining those changes. Because I know when a change is too big and it's all at once, it's too hard to sustain. You know, and it makes it very hard for people to get around and doing the program. You know, I can sell the program on its own, and I would probably make a lot of money by doing so, but would I make a difference to people's lives? And that's really what I want to do. I want this change to stick. You know, life can be so much easier. It breaks my heart when people are working such long hours and not getting results they deserve. So breaking the whole process into 6 steps keeps all the changes under your radar of resistance. It engages the principle of measurable success. So you see success, and when you see success, success builds success. If you see progress, you're more likely to keep going. And that's why I answer your questions weekly. You've had a chance to apply the information, and then you've got real life questions for me to answer. And usually they're very customized to your needs. That's why I've got a community. I set up a Facebook private page on Facebook, so that because that's all inspiration, you see. If somebody else is doing it and they're posting what their results are, then you know you can do it too. It inspires people to keep going. It keeps that momentum going. It's why I create tools and templates as well. I identify. So every week normally so I have run this program before. It was run very successfully. And after every Q&A call, there's tools that I create for people, templates. But these are identified through the call. And so they're addressed to your specific needs. I also give you accountabilities. So, you know, to get the $100 back, you've got 7 accountabilities that you need to submit. They're not hard, believe me. They're just part of the course, but it gives you something to track and measure. How many have you done? Have you done them? It gives you that successful feeling. By getting you to submit them, you can track your progress, you can celebrate. And that's why I give you $100 for finishing. All of it has a purpose. One links into another. You know, I didn't wake up one day and slap it all together. I have done that in the past, and it still made money. But now I've learned so much more over the years. I know from face-to-face client what really works, and staying with them longer really works. I wanted it to be a program that kept you motivated to finish, because when you finish, you'll have changed your life. And I wanted it to be gentle, to be easy. You know, you probably didn't, because doing it on your own is hard. All right. Next question. What happens if I don't take action tonight? Well, today, you know, there's a good question. That person's writing tonight because I suspect they're probably from America. You know, there's a good chance that you're going to miss out, that the spots are going to fill up. Because I'm doing an encore of this particular call, this webinar, in a couple of days. So the rest of the seats will be offered to those people on that webinar. And once the program starts, it's closed until the next program starts, because I can't manage, you know, 20 programs. There's only one of me. Remember, I'm here to manage time and do it easily. That's why I do one program at a time. If you're on the fence, if you're unsure, you know, I'm not going to twist your arm. If you have an objection, if you're worried about something, type it in, you know. Help me out. I'll see if I can address it. If not for you, maybe this particular program, maybe for future programs. But let me know what it is, and I'll see if I can work with you to work it out. You can email me directly if you like on angie@timeequalsmoney.net.au. The gift I said, I will be emailing this to you. For those who have attended and stayed to the end, I'll get this gift to you. And I'll also get you the updated version of the tool that you downloaded initially. If you're wanting to do the program, head over to your emails, have a look at that email, click the registration button and get on. Let's make this happen. Let's get it started. We start next week. People, thank you so much for your questions. Thank you so much for your time. My God, it's priceless to me. I hope you've got substantial, you've written a lot of notes to help you, and I'm here to help you. All the best. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the program, huh? I'll see you next week. Ciao.